My name is Schiff, and I've had the honor and the privilege of serving as a Broward County Court judge since 1997. You've tuned into this video to gain some information about how our traffic court system works. Please understand that the information that you'll learn in this video is not serving as legal advice to you. You're encouraged to seek your own legal counsel before making any decision regarding your traffic infraction or traffic citation. The Broward County Traffic Court is held in 4 different courthouses: the downtown courthouse in Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood in the southern part of the county, Plantation in the western portion of our county, and the northern portion of our county here in Deerfield Beach, where I've had the pleasure to serve. When you receive a traffic infraction, which is sometimes also called a citation, you have several options. They are in no particular order. You can pay the citation and be done with it. You may elect traffic school, or you can enter a plea of not guilty. This video will focus on the option of having your day in court, entering a plea of not guilty. So let's talk about it. If you plea not guilty, you will then receive via the mail a notice of hearing. Your entry of plea of not guilty needs to also be filed by mail. Once you get your date and your time, you will be instructed to report to what's called a pre-trial conference. Your case will be assigned to either a judge or a traffic hearing officer. If you would like a judge in your case, you must elect a judge in writing at the time that you file your plea of not guilty, which is you have to elect within 30 days. Going to court really is a 2-step process. The first time you go to court will be the pretrial conference. And at this conference, you will speak directly with the judge or the traffic hearing officer. There'll be no one else there as far as witnesses or police. The court will review any pretrial motions that you have filed, and it will be your opportunity to change your mind and plead guilty, which is an admission of the allegations, or no contest, and you can resolve your case at that time without the need to come back for a trial. At the pretrial conference, if your plea will be no contest or guilty, the judge or the traffic hearing officer will take time to ask you questions about the case, and you will have an opportunity to tell the judge or the traffic hearing officer a little bit about the case. In many instances, the court may only ask you to pay court costs and attend driving school after they've considered your story and the circumstances surrounding your citation. After you've told the judge or the hearing officer your story, in many circumstances, the court may withhold the adjudication of guilt, order you to pay fines or court costs, and send you to driving school, but you won't receive points. However, you need to understand, if you do enter a plea of either guilty or no contest, there is no guarantee that you will receive a withhold. Each case is really on a case-by-case basis. It has its own individual, unique facts, and it depends upon the circumstances surrounding it, including, as I said earlier, your driving history. If you elect to keep your plea of not guilty, the judge will thank you, or the hearing officer will thank you for coming in, and then you will receive by mail the notice of your trial. So here comes your trial. So what should you do? I suggest you arrive to court at least 15 minutes early, because you have to go through security and there'll be other people trying to get into the same courtroom. When you come early, make sure you've brought with you any evidence: photographs, diagrams, videos, and most importantly, any witnesses that you intend to call on your behalf. When your case is called, step forward to the podium and bring with you any of those witnesses. Make sure that you have all your evidence with you. The court will first hear testimony from other witnesses. if your case is a crash case or an accident case. Those witnesses will tell the court what they know. This is not because the witnesses are more important than you, but it's because the witnesses will go first, and it's the burden of the state, it's the burden to show beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt that you committed the offense as charged. When you hear the testimony of the witnesses, it's important for you to take notes, because then, after they have given their testimony, you will have the opportunity to ask them questions, which is known as cross-examining them. After the witnesses goes, any of the law enforcement officers will also have an opportunity to testify. And like cases with eyewitnesses, you will have the opportunity to ask the officers questions pertaining to your case. As I said before, the burden is beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt, and that is the exact burden that's used in criminal cases. Now, if your case is a traffic citation where there is not an accident, the officer will give his or her testimony first, and then you'll have an opportunity to ask the officer questions, and then after that, you'll have the opportunity to present your side of the case as well, just as it would have been had the case been an accident case. Now, remember a few things that's very important. When you step forward, the court has never heard your case before, so don't assume that the court understands the facts of your case. Please take your time to explain your case in a way that the court will certainly understand. Oftentimes, people have lots of points that they wish to make, and it's important that you don't wing it. It's important that you write down your points before you come into court. Put them on a pad and a paper, and this way you can check them off after you have made those points. You know, I understand that you're going to be nervous, and so being nervous is okay, but just take your time. The worst time to remember your best points is after you've walked out of the courtroom and you haven't had an opportunity to say it to the hearing officer or the judge. So to avoid that, make sure that you thoroughly review your notes during the trial and that you understand and check them off as you make sure you get to those points. Now, after you have given your testimony, and that comes after the other witnesses have given their testimony, the court's going to make a decision. And the court's going to do one of several things. If the court finds you not guilty, your case is over, and you'll go over to the clerk, you'll pick up your disposition, and you'll go home. Now, if the court decides, after hearing all the testimony, that the case has been proven beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt, then the court will sentence you. So what does the court look to in sentencing you? Number one, the court will look to the infraction itself. Two, the court will look to your driving history. And then lastly, the court will look at the testimony of the parties involved. Once the court has done that, the court will pronounce its sentence. It could be points, it could be a fine, it could be driving school, it could be costs, it could be all of those or a combination of those. Again, you'll walk over to the clerk and you'll pick up your paperwork. You'll have 30 days to pay any fines and court costs and complete driving programs. If you need additional time before you leave, ask the court, and they can give you up to 90 days to have everything completed. Now, if you have additional questions, the 17th Judicial Circuit webpage has some information under frequently asked questions for traffic court, and you're encouraged to please take a look at that as well. On behalf of the judges of the 17th Judicial Circuit, we wish you well in your day in court, and thank you and good luck.